Learn to say a simple yes or no. Sometimes that alone is just enough. There's no need to be explaining the why. I remember recently, well, not really recent, but not too long ago, I said something to somebody. I asked somebody a question, and I'm not going to say what the question is because, of course, the person probably watching the video, and I don't want to be offensive. But I just asked a simple question. And let me tell you something. The person went on to, I don't even think they did say yes or no, or probably at the end of the message, they sent me a long text message and explaining. I never asked for an explanation. It was just a simple yes or no. That alone would suffice. You explaining didn't necessarily change what I was thinking. I think the person was hoping to probably change what I was thinking, but it never happened because I just wanted to know because of a particular situation. I just wanted to know, is it a yes or no? There was no judgment attached to it. There was no nothing. So there was no need. So many times we fall in that position. But this morning, today, I'm here to say to you, learn to say yes or no. Just go straight. Just all in Jamaica we say lick the nail on the head. Just speak your mind. Stop beating around the bush. That sounds like you. Okay, so most time as good negotiators, we learn to say yes or no. We know that is the key. All right, and most decisions eventually come down to yes or no. Think about it. Has you ever been trying to go in around the circle and then it comes right back to yes or no? Has that ever happened to you? So I want you to bear in mind these three questions, right? So in order to be able to say yes or no, bear these three questions in mind. The first one is this decision mine alone? Is it your decision alone to make? Does somebody else have an input to making it, or it's just up to me? If it's just up to you, then go ahead and make it, right? If you before you stand, if you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives liberally without reproach, and will be given to him. That's James 1 verse 5. So if we lack wisdom as to know how to respond and you know to the question, we can ask of God and he will give us, and he will give us generously as well. So you can ask of him. The second question is, what will happen if I put off making this decision? Some of us, we have become so indecisive. We put it off till tomorrow, and the answer come back to yes or no. So you are to think about it. What will happen if I put it off? Just say no from now. Sometimes we pull it out, we drag it out, and eventually it weighs us down. Where we could have just said a simple yes. And I think sometimes is when we have to say no that we tend to explain a whole lot. Well, it depends on the circumstance. I want to encourage you this morning. Nothing wrong in just giving a yes or no answer. It actually shows strength in you because when you have to go around and explain, it's almost as if it's some sort of insecurity on your part and weakness. So just stick to the facts and say what is it that you need to say. And the final point is, does every decision have a moral or spiritual dimension to it? So you saying a yes or a no. What is the moral? What is the spiritual, connection to this decision? So that is something that we can think about. How does it affect some when you compromise or convict your character? You're gonna compromise it because you want to be popular. There's so many persons who compromise because they want to be popular. I want to be popular for the right reason, not because I pretend to be somebody else. Some people are afraid of saying no because they don't want people to hate them. They want to be loved by everybody. Listen, we're living in a real world and not everybody is going to like you. And not everybody is going to hate you. If everybody hates you, then there's a problem. And if everybody likes you, there's a problem. I remember I had, before I got my first promotion, there was this supervisor I had, and we used to call that supervisor the yes person. She was trying to be liked by the staff, by all of, including me. But you see, for me, I work with just about anybody. You know, she was a yes person. If you want to change a day off, okay. If you want to leave early, okay. If you want to go for lunch at a different time, okay. She was just a yes person. And I was surprised when I heard that that was a nickname they gave to her. They call her the yes woman. And I never ever forget. I thought to me she'd never fit into the culture of the organization that I worked. And she never stayed very long, to be honest. And I can remember it was for me. I remember there was this, when this position was available, and I think I was next in line. Like, not that it was mine. Well, let me explain it. I had worked and I knew the job, and based on how I was working, I thought, yes, I would have gotten the job. And they got somebody from outside and gave the job to. I worked just the same. I supported her just the same because I believe in supporting people no matter what. I gave it my best and I never disrespected. I never tried to manipulate her by trying to have her do things for me because I believe that is so wrong. And eventually she didn't spend very long at the organization, and once she left, I was actually promoted to the position. But I didn't just, it never beat around the bush, but you have to understand that sometimes the decision that we make will compromise our moral standard. Don't let that be you. Do not compromise yourself because you don't want somebody to not to like you. If you have to say a yes or a no, just say it and move on. Once you know you are being honest to the individual. So that would be my own encouragement to you. You say a good man or a woman obtains favor from the Lord. And I believe that was me at the time. I was favored by God. And my journey started right there. I started to move up the ranks because I never compromise. I never compromise. I don't do it. I don't believe in it. I don't want to compromise because I want to be liked by somebody. And you shouldn't either. Stand up for who you are, believe in what you do, and trust the process. So this morning, I want to encourage you, or whenever you're listening this, a simple yes or no will do it. Don't be weak. Don't be insecure. Because when you're trying to justify certain things, that's a signal of weakness. It may not always be the case, but it could be a signal. If there is an explanation that's absolutely necessary, like maybe you say yes or no and the person asks for the explanation, then you can give. That's just my thought. You don't all have to come at me now, but that's my 2 cents on that thought. But you can leave your own thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think a yes or no will do it? And yeah, let me hear from you. Before we go, I love asking a question before I go. So, who does the New Testament say is an example of patience? Who the Old Testament says is an example of patience? This person. There's a patient man right donkey. Mercy. This person full of patience. Have you guessed it? Well, if you have said Job, then you are correct. You can go to James 5, verse 11, and that will confirm. But we all know the story. Well, most of us should know the story of Job. If you don't, it's an excellent book for you to read. Until the next time, see you.